Okay, so welcome back. Again, we've talked about in the last two videos how to go back and forth from exponential to log and log to exponential. And now we're going to actually take and evaluate these expressions. And the way we're going to do them is by doing the change from one form to the other. Okay, so there's several ways to do this, and I'm going to show you both ways. But one would be to change this to exponential form. And so the question says, and let me back up. So sometimes I'll have kids who'll put an x out here. They want an x equal to x. You can do that. So 6 to the what number is 36. And again, hopefully you know that that is a square. Okay, so 6 squared is 36. Now again, there is a property. It's called the change of base. Okay, so change of base. And what we need to do then is do log of 36. So that's the log of our large number divided by log of 6. And that can be put in directly into your calculator. So if by chance, and it happens in the next step, that it is not something that you can do in your head, you can put it in your calculator. Again, when you put it into your calculator on there, a lot of times it opens the parenthesis. And that's the key too, is you need to remember to close that. If not, more than likely it will give you the wrong answer. But you would just put in the log of 36, again, close your parentheses up, divided by your log of 6, close your parenthesis, equals, and you're going to get the 2. Okay, so you might try that on your calculator just to see. Okay, our next one, again, so it would be 1, I don't really need an equal sign, so let me take that out. 1/6 to the x, or y, or whatever you want to put, equals 1/6. So in this case, x equals 1. Okay, next one, 36 to what power would be 6. Now we know that that would be the square root of, and remember the square root is the 1/2 power. Our next one, okay, 3 to what power would be 1/9. Okay, now 1, we know that 3 squared is 9. Okay, let me write that down. 3 squared is 9, but I need 1/2. And remember, the rule to make it from a 9 to a 1/9 is the negative. And so in this case, x would equal a -2, because that would be then the reciprocal on there. Okay, now again, if you cannot think that out in your head, then you could come over here to our problem, okay, and put in log of 1/9 divided by log of 3, and it will give you a -2. Our next one, okay, 343 to what power would be 7, okay, and what would that be? The cube root of, okay, so 7 times 7 is 49, 49 times 7 is 343, so x would be to the 1/3 power. Okay, 1/3, or the cube root of. Remember, cube root is x to the 1/3. Okay, next one, 49 to what power would be 1/7. Okay, can you figure that out on your own? Okay, so 1, it would be the square root, okay, which would be the 1/2 power. But that would give you 7, so we need it as a -1/2 to do the reciprocal of. Okay? So again, that it comes down to, just knowing your powers and your rules, but that is evaluating expressions if I can do them without a calculator. Again, if I need to use the calculator, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. If I need to use the calculator, then I would just put it in. Okay? So, with that being said, when I go to do log base 3 of 55, if I rewrote it, okay, 3 to the what power is 55, well, hopefully most of you know there is no power. That is not going to come out even. And so we need to put it in our calculator and round it to the nearest thousandths. So what we're going to do is put it in again as log of 55 over log of 3. Again, watch those parentheses on your calculator. Oops, got to open my calculator back up real quick. And so that would be the log of 55 divided by the log of 3. And I get that answer down. We need thousandths, so that's tenths, hundred thousandths. That would be 3 decimal places, 3.64. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Push down too hard. 8. Okay, because it's 6476. So do be sure you round it correctly. If you round it wrong, then you will lose some points on your rounding. Okay, try that. Make sure you do get that value and you know how to put it into your calculator, because you're really going to want to be able to use your calculator for these values. Number 8. Okay, so this would be log of 2.1 divided by log of 6. Okay, now I don't put the parentheses in there. I just know that when I put it into my calculator, I need those parentheses. And again, as I said, most of your calculators will open a parenthesis. You just got to be sure you close it. So I get, and always double check my values, for 0.414. Okay, and then this one would be log of 10 over log of 3. Now again, when you're doing this change of base, I didn't mention it up earlier, I may have or may not have. What it is doing, it is automatically changing it from a base, in this case 3, to the base 10, because that's what your calculator will do, is a base 10 only. So really in these cases, I'll write it in this way. It is 10, 10, and log base 10, 3. Again, we just don't put that 10 in because that is, again, our common log. So we're going to put that into our calculator. Again, log of 10, close or parentheses, divided by. Now, I wouldn't hit equal. I just go put it all in all at once as one thing. And I get that to do 2.096. Okay. And then our very last one, that would be log of 3.6 over log of 2. Now, one thing to mention to you is when you are doing your problems on there, I do expect to see you write this piece out. I want to see that step. And so it's potential, if you're one of those people who are not listening to the sound, you might not have heard what I just said on there. So hopefully you are listening to the sound. So this is 1.848. Okay, final answer. Okay, so the question is, any questions on those, or does that make sense? And I think that is the last thing. Okay, so those are just simplifications. You're going to have to do those within our solving of our equations, which is why it is very important that you be able to do this. Okay, well, good luck on this lesson, and hopefully you don't have any questions, but if you do have questions, be sure you make a note of those to ask.